Well, tonight's Candlelight Tale is about the house where I grew up, Aspen Grove. Most of y'all know that it was a Civil War hospital at one time for both the North and the South, and a very actively haunted house. But one of the things about living in a haunted house is when the occupants are gone and you're home alone. And this was the case when I was 10. My oldest brother had been married and moved away. I had 3 other siblings that were teenagers at home. My 2 sisters decided to go out for the night. My parents went to the theater in D.C. So it ended up just being myself and my 15-year-old brother, Scott. So everybody had, gone. The door had closed. The lights were out. It was dark. I went into the music room where the TV was to watch the Brady Bunch, my regular Friday night routine. And I sat down to watch the show, and I noticed that the chandelier up above, we had these crystal, they were Waterford crystal chandeliers, and they had many different tiers on them and lots of dangling glass. And they started to tinkle, and I realized that up above my brother was walking around in his bedroom. He was very studious, so I figured he was probably studying. So I just left him alone because I know better. And I watched the show, and when I was done I went and got something to eat. I was getting kind of lonely. It was really dark outside, so I had pretty much all the lights on. I came back to the music room and I found some old movie on TV and I started watching it. And then I heard footsteps up above and the chandelier tinkling again, except it was in the dining room this time, and that was below my bedroom. So I realized my brother was in my bedroom, and that's not good territory for a 10-year-old. So I went rushing to the bottom of the stairs and I yelled up, Get the bleep out of my bedroom. And I heard the door slam. And I realized that he was upset he got caught. But one of the things about Aspen Grove was with those chandeliers, you couldn't get away with much upstairs. My mom always knew when we were into something by how much the chandeliers were shaking. So I went back to my music room and was watching the movie some more. And I guess about a half hour had gone by, maybe an hour, somewhere around there. And he'd been really quiet upstairs, so I'm thinking, oh man, I am so in for it. There's going to be some confrontation. He's going to say, I was in your room borrowing paper, and don't ever, tell me not to go in there again, or something like that. I was waiting to see what kind of debate we would have, because he and I butted heads a lot. But I didn't hear anything from him, so I thought, okay, good. I put him in his place. I put my elder in his place. So I finished watching the movie, and I turned the TV off, and I turned the light out in the music room. And I had left the lights on in most of the downstairs because I really just didn't like being in the house. Even with Scott there, it was just too quiet. I was used to lots of people and lots of noise, and you could hear every sound. And I heard footsteps in the hallway, and I thought, oh good, he's coming downstairs. So I went into the kitchen and I got myself a drink, and I figured he'd be coming downstairs and, trying to bug me to get him something to eat because he didn't like to make food. But he never came down the stairs. So I thought, okay, he's probably just, using the bathroom, whatever. But he never walked back to his room. It didn't make any sense because there really wasn't anything at the other end of the hall for him to go to if he wasn't using the bathroom. So I climbed up the stairwell and I peeked at the bathroom door, and it was wide open. And the light was off, and I knew he wasn't in there. So I went back downstairs and I got some crackers and some peanut butter and jelly and, iced tea and all that stuff. And I went back to the music room and decided, I might as well watch something else because the movie I had been watching was a little bit scary. And I listened and listened, and I guess about a half hour had gone by, not a footstep, not a peep from him. And then I heard the sound of a car coming up the driveway on the gravel, and the headlights shining into the house, the back of the house. And I heard the car doors close, and I went to go greet my sisters, and I went rushing into the breakfast room, turned on the lights to meet them, just glad for some more company. And they came in the back door, Kathy and Tina, followed by Scott. And I realized he had actually decided to go with them. And I had been home alone that whole time. That's the kind of stuff that happened there. Thank y'all for listening.